Hello, my name is Ashley. I'm going to be doing your walkthrough for the 2021 Winnebago Solis 59P. So upon first look, height, you are 12.5 feet tall. So anything on the highway, you're good. Anything off the highway, you want to be cautious of. Parking garages, drive-throughs, anything with a roof or overhang, you just want to be sure you do have that 12.5 foot clearance. Lengthwise, you're about 20 foot long, which is not the longest of RVs, but you still just want to keep that length in mind when you're making turns, so wider turns than usual, and just keeping that length in mind. This is one of my personal favorite units. The drivability is super comfortable. It feels like driving a minivan. It's not as intimidating, and they really packed a lot into a Class B RV, which you'll see when we get inside. Coming around to the driver's side here, you have your gas tank, and that's located right by the driver's side door. You actually don't have to open the door. You can just open it here, and there's your gas. It is regular gas, and we encourage you to try and go to truck stops to fill up for gas, just simply because you do have more room and more height. We find a lot of the times our customers, when they go to our regular gas stations, that's where most of the accidents tend to happen. But on the driver's side is your gas. This right here, this is just from your hot water heater, and it does say hot. So anytime you're running the hot water heater, this is going to be hot to the touch. So we have our gas on the driver's side, hot water heater, hot to the touch. Right here, this box is actually for your cassette toilet. So in this RV, you have your black, which is your toilet waste. And then right down here, you have your gray. This is your sink and shower waste. So your gray, everything that goes down the sink drain and the shower drain goes into a storage compartment underneath of the RV, and it holds about 20 gallons of shower and sink drainage. And there's a leveler inside, a button that you can press that I'm going to show you when we go inside to see how full you're getting on your gray tank. This is your black. It's a cassette toilet. When we go inside, you'll also see that it's a wet bath, meaning that you're showering in the same area where your toilet is located, which is what they refer to as a wet bath. In order to open this, when it's time to dump your toilet waste, you will need to make sure this is unlocked. And the key for that is a little silver key that looks like this. So I think this is unlocked, but you have to have the key inserted. And then you push down on both buttons at the same time. So you push in with this key, and then you push in on this button, and then you open it. So again, we push in the key and push the button at the bottom, and you kind of gotta grab around the edges to pry it away. And this is your toilet waste, and it's what we refer to as a cassette toilet. In order for this to be able to come out, so if you push down on this blue to try and take it out, or excuse me, pull up on this blue to try and take it out, if it's not coming out, you will need to make sure that the toilet inside is closed, and I'm going to show you what that means. So when I'm ready to dump my toilet waste, if you open the lid of the toilet up, so right now it is closed. There is a gray lever right here. This is your flusher. So if I was to leave this open, so that's closed, that's open. If I was to leave this open, it will not allow me to pull the waste cassette out on the outside. So it has to be closed, facing back. while we're here, to flush or put water in the toilet, you always want to put a little water in the toilet before you use the bathroom. So I'm just going to turn my water pump on because I'm using storage water. I'm not hooked up to a campsite or anything. So I'm going to turn my water pump on here. You would just push this down. That puts the water in the toilet. Then you would use it once you're done. Add a little bit more water and then pull this gray forward. And that flushes it. And then we make sure it's in the back position. So when you go to dump your waste out, it will allow you to pull it out. Looking at the toilet, you have your flusher that allows you to get water in the toilet. Right behind here is how you check and see how full you're getting and how you will know when it's time to dump your toilet waste on the outside. So right now it's green, which means I'm not full on my waste yet. When this starts turning red, or it is red, the color is no longer green and it's red, it's time to dump your waste on the outside. So coming around from your bathroom right here, your control panel is where you're gonna be able to check your levels and see how full or how empty you are on everything. So you have LPG, propane, you have battery, then you have gray. And again, gray is your sink and shower drain waste. You can just press and hold this button and it will light up and show you how empty or full you are. When it shows you are 2/3 full for your gray, it's time to dump. And now I'm going to show you guys how to dump the gray and the black. So on the driver's side, I have my gray waste drain. What I'm going to do is my hose for the gray waste is actually on the passenger side. So coming around to the passenger side of the RV, right here, if you look down, you will see your sewer hose holder. So you just pull that to open it, and your hose is in here. So you would pull this out. Now we're going to go back around to the driver's side of the RV. So for the gray, we take the cap off and the teeth hook into the RV here. And then this part will go to wherever you're dumping. So most campsites, if it's a full hookup campsite, they will have like a white pipe in the ground. You would just take the cap off of the white pipe and plug this in. Some campsites, they don't have sewage right by where you're parking, the waste dump. So you would have to ask the campsite where their waste dump is. And they might have a location that you would just drive to and you would plug this in and dump it there. If your campsite doesn't have any waste dumps, a quick Google search of like RV dump sites near me or RV waste dumping near me, it'll show you any campsites around that offer that service, and you would just have to call them and pay whatever their fee is for that dumping service. So what you would want to do is pull it straight out to dump it. So you can see the silver there, that means that it's open. If you're staying overnight at the campsite and it has full hookup and you have that sewage available, you can just leave it open and plugged in. That way it's dumping as you're using it. But if you're just dumping and then leaving, you would let it out. You'll hear it when it's done, and then you would push it in to close it. So push in to close, pull out to open. So you make sure it's nice and tightly pushed in. You can take off and pop the cap back on. And then you would take the hose itself back around to the passenger side. And you would just feed it in here. And you just want to make sure that it's closed and latched, because we've had a few customers leave that unlocked, so while they're driving, the sewer hose will fall out and then they won't have a gray waste hose anymore. So, and just turn it down to lock it.